Welcome to another episode of Let's Make an RPG Game, Season 3, Episode 2, I think, or 4, but I think it's 3. So, I did a few changes kind of off camera so I'm going to show you real quick, and then we're going to get into some things. So, of course, I'm just going to zoom in here real quick. Do this. Come on. It's been slow lately, so we've got, of course, this we're going to fix, because I'm going to show you. If we move it, we're going to, this little NPC here, and of course we have the player here, and I'm going to show you why he's there, just that. Alright, okay. This is the sewer system under it. Of course, you got 2 slimes here, a light here, and 3 doors, and I will show you how this works, and all this is, and we're going to change a few things as well. We got another town. We're going to change a few things here as well. So that is kind of the agenda. Of course, the world map, if you've been on my Patreon, the world map has actually changed. And I'll zoom out so you get a good view of it. See, it's changed to look like this instead of what it was, because I like this better than it was before. So, let's work on implementing changes. So, like I said, first, and we're going to go here and implement the change. We're going to do this, and here, so that. Change it to that. Go here. That's all good. Then we'll go to this map. Actually, this map. I'm going to go here. Alright. Changes are fixed there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here. Find well fixed. Make sure that switch turns on once you defeat the enemy. Click apply. I'm going to point out a few code changes. Hold on quick. Plug her in. We're low on battery power. Alright. We're low on battery power, but it should be good to do this. So, those are a couple of things that have changed. We're going to fix a few things, add a few things. So that's kind of the basic agenda of today's video. Of course, you've seen it to yourself, but that has actually changed. I'm going to show you, we've got all this here. I've changed it because I have taken out a few plugins that were causing some issues. So here's the plugins we're set to using right now. Okay. So for item pop-ups, I'm not using the one I usually use because that requires a little bit of setup. This is just easy. You drag and drop and you're done. We're not using this, so that's why it's turned off. We're also using random loot, so that actually makes that. I'm going to show you how we're going to use these plugins to set up some things. So that is that so far. So I will demonstrate this towards the end of the video, so you can see that. But we're also going to change a few things with this. So first off, let's make this a little bit wider. So I'm just going to grab this and make sure it is set to that. It is. And we're just going to widen this a bit. So, voila. Because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. We're going to take this and just move this slightly out of the way there, because what I'm going to do, drop this down to about there. Drop that right there. And then we can move this right there, and I will force the player to go through that for the exit. So I'm going to delete the slime, go to the slime, and I'm going to set this instead of random to approach. That's forcing you to do that, and we're going to say event touch, so that way when the event touches you, it triggers the battle. To make multiple slimes that do that, we're going to go to copy, and instead of just putting them all in one area, we're just going to kind of space them out here. And we're not going to put a bunch, we're only going to put 3. You don't need the player to, now you can try to avoid it, but it's just going to follow you. And we're going to go here, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did in the other area. So what I'm going to do is just quickly drop this down, like so. Do this. That's good. Nope, I don't want there. I'll line this up like that. And I'm just going to put it there. Again, we'll move this slightly out of the way. Drop this down here. Actually, wrong thing. Drop it like that. Move this back here. And because we made copy and paste the other ones, we're just going to quickly just take this. Actually, you know what? Fill this in. And, excuse me, I'm going to just really paste. Time and copy. I'm just going to put 2 in here. There we go. This is a smaller area. And there's that. Yes, I'm going to show you quick the code I used for the random chest. So, here's the code for the random chest. And of course, here's the plugin command that causes it. So I'm just going to create one here. So what I do is I go here and I go to treasure and I just leave everything in the gold 0 and leave everything empty. So then I go into the code of that, and all we do is wipe out these 2 lines. We go here and we go to 3, and because it's a plugin, we can go here go to ED5 random loot, and we can have a random weapon, random armor, random loot, or random gang of loot. We're just going to make it random loot, like that. And voila, we're going to rename this to, well, no, I did have a plugin that created easy to create a quest system, but what I chose to not have it because it's sometimes you don't really need to put in a quest system. You can actually create your own. And let's go back up to the town map here, and I'll show you what I did. Click on, here's where she tells you that. So we're going to fix a few things here. A few spelling errors. Probably when you type fast, you make spelling errors like that. And here's the choices. So you can either go down or you can leave. Say hello to cats. This is spicy or allspice. There she goes. So here's the code. So if you say go down, it fades the screen out, transfers the player into the well, fades the screen in. And we've got this here, this control switch. This says quest start. That means you can make the quest to start, which makes it easier to make multiple quests in the game because you could just use this switch to signify that the quest has started, and then switches to here. Now we've got an if statement here, if or else. We're going to put in else statement real quick and have her say the town needs the well fixed or our crops will die. And if you did it, you get 10 gold, you get 5 experience points. And to satisfy, make sure that that changes the quest off. All we did, and we'll go back down on the well, we'll go to the room with the purple slime, is set this variable to off, set this variable to on, so when you come back up, you'll see water spurting out of the well, which signifies that you've successfully clogged the well. And it creates another switch that opens up an exit, which is right here. And of course, we have Glendale. I did make some changes to that. I'll show you what we're going to do with this. But we have the bar, so we're going to implement the bar. We're going to do it real quick. I'm just going to cheat it. Shame me all you want. I like to cheat once in a while. Sometimes you just need to cheat. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a bartender. I always like to use sci-fi actors. That one specifically because he looks like a bartender. And let's just have him say something simple. Something like, pub, I get you. Let's have him say, welcome to the pub. I'm leaving it at that. Because we're going to put another player team member here. And we're going to put Jill there. Jimmy there. This, that, and okay, we'll create a system of things. Some things we'll have. Actually, we're changing that because I forgot I had created, and we're going to create Starhaven in a second. There you go. We'll have it with that, and then we'll make a choice and say yes, say no. But we're going to force the player to actually choose yes, or choose the first option by getting rid of the second option and put in. There we go, put in that. So we only have one choice. He could exit the choice, but he would probably do this. So what we're going to do now is before we do this, I'm going to put this here, like that. Actually, no, we don't even need to put that. We're going to put that here. We're going to create a second page and label it cell switch A. And what we're going to do is we're going to go here, go to change party member. We're going to add him. And then right after that, it's going to switch to cell switch A, like that. So that way, when it adds him, it automatically goes here, and it literally looks like that the person has joined your party, and voila. So now we need to put exit here, so we're going to go to here, we're going to put, oh, that's not what I want. We're going to go to quick event, we're going to go transfer, and we're going to switch this to come out there. So then we're going to go here, edit this because this is coming out somewhere else. We're going to put it here, and voila, apply, and now we'll go. But I like to put some sort of quest here, which may change where that player character is. How it changes where the first team member is. So I want to put in a small quest. So here's what we're going to do. Let's see. Let's put a forest entrance right about here into the forest. We're just going to add it on to the map real quick. We're going to go to new. We're going to keep the dimensions it is. I'm going to say outside. What's that? And we're going to make just a small little thing. I'm going to do it like this. We're going to fill in these areas here. I'm going to then grab this so it looks like a forest, part of the forest, like that. And then fill in the grass and voila. And one last thing, so we didn't want to do that. We're going to switch it to this and put it there. So let's create the exit. Same basic thing, transfer, and drop the player right there. We're going to go back to here. We're going to drop a player NA there. So we need a quest, and we need some sort of thing here. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the bar, and we're going to wipe him out. We don't need him there. You guys enter the bar, so you really don't need to enter the bar, but we may change that later, or I may change that off camera. So we're going to go over to our little forest area here, and I'm going to create an enemy. I'm just going to use the crow. Actually, I'm just going to use one of the enemies that comes with. So I'm going to drop monster, we're going to drop, I'll put a goblin there. Alright, click apply, we'll come back to him. We're going to go here. We're just going to go like this. Find ourselves goblin battler. We're just going to label this goblin, not jeeblin, goblin. And let's see, let's have his stats be, I'm going to show you a quicker way. Clear him out. We're just going to copy the gnome, go down here, paste the gnome. We're going to quickly throw a goblin instead of the gnome. We're going to rename him goblin, and we'll drop the stats to 150 and keep everything else. We'll change the gold to 5. We'll drop this down to 4. We'll leave it at that. We'll get rid of the venom attack with basic attack. That. Next thing we got to do is go over to troop. Just pick an empty spot. Find your goblin. Go here. Rename it. And voila. Now you're able to put him into play. And we'll have him hold a chest. Let's create an item that is needed in that chest. Excuse me. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go for an item. But actually, you know what? I got an idea. First, we're going to drop in him. And when you talk to him, then we're going to say same kind of thing. Same thing we had before. But we're going to have him say, I would like to help too, but I need my sword that this goblin took from me. So we're going to have a choice. But before we do the choice, I'm going to make this a switch. We're on here, say goblin, we can apply. I'm just going to go somewhere off here. I'm going to create this with self switch A, and then we're going to put it so the goblin is there. It appears while it's there. So have it all like that. The minute you enter the scene, this activates. Set this to auto run. So the minute you enter the scene, this activates to make sure this is in its place. Because I'm going to show you why. So now we go here. We'll create a choice. Again, we're going to force the player to have to choose the first option by only giving the option. Help him. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go here. And we're going to have battle processing for the goblin. So once you defeat the goblin, so we're going to apply. I'm going to do something. So we're going to create the chest real quick. This is one that's not going to have random items in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say weapon and have a mithril sword. But we're going to go back here in a moment. I'm going to go over to the database and go into item. This is empty spot under reserved. We're going to say chest key. I was going to pick a key-shaped item to make it so we have it in the database. So in the inventory, there we go. Make it consumable so you can't keep it once you're done. Apply. Go back to here. And this only happens if you have said chest key. Now to get the chest key, we're going to go back into the database, go over enemies, and we're going to have the drop B a chest key, the chest key. So that way you have to defeat the goblin in order to open the chest. And then once that's done, we're going to go over the switches, and now we're going to turn the goblin off. So that way he disappears. And voila. We'll go here. Once that's done, we're going to have this happen. We're going to do a few things here. So now that you have the mithril sword for them, we're going to go to change equipment. We're going to choose option 2, which is Jimmy. We're going to have a decrease or increase 1. Let's change experience. Whoops. Change equipment. There. Type weapon. Mithril sword. So that way he instantly equips the sword. Have him thank you for helping him. Always thank the player. Like that. Then we're going to just have him automatically join your party. Change party member. Add him. Then we're going to then self-switch A on. And so again, it looks like he actually joined your party. And there we have all that set and ready, so that when you get the second member, actually the third member, that pops up once in a while, third member because the first two you actually get in the first mission and the first quest. And there you have it. So let's end this with a quick playtest of, actually no playtest. There you have it, because I'm slowly running out of battery power and the mic is plugged into a spot where covering up the thing. So there you have it. We have successfully created 2 quests, well, 2 missions in the game in order to get 3 player characters to be exact. Because in the well, you get her. Oh, I gotta put the dog in, and the dog. And this one, so here, you go into here and you get him. But I'm gonna change a few things off camera, because literally this has run, I'm running out of battery power, and this has gone to be a half-an-hour ordeal. So again, thanks for watching this episode of Let's Make a G Game, Season 3, Episode 2. Remember, road is where the stories are. Do good in the world. Peace out, stay frosty, and I'll see you in the next one.